Hello, hi guys, my name is Zinjy and welcome back to an episode on Vault Hunters. Now in the last episode we did some pretty important stuff and one of them involved a certain hammer that we built that we're going to be using probably in this episode actually because we need to gather some resources for Crate because we unlocked Crate in the last episode because we're going to be using quite a bit this season for things that we're going to be doing, which involves a certain build that we're probably going to be doing today. But before we get to anything, there is something I want to take a look at that has appeared in my base over the course of in between episodes. What is this? Now you're all probably wondering what on earth is the cake and why is there a pouch above it? Well, I asked that same question as well, but I'm going to guess this has something to do with our good friend Vert because he was hosting a game where we were running cake vaults, and the more cake vaults you got, the better you were, and the person with the highest cake vaults won. I'm not really sure what the prize was. I haven't looked in this, but oh, okay. Vault Diamond's a trinket, refined carbon, and the feeding upgrade is not really important. I think we have missed it though, as I say. I don't think the game is now running because I really wanted to take part, but I just was busy in real life and wasn't able to take part. I wonder though, Vert, can I keep all this stuff? Now, without getting too distracted by cakes, I want to show you guys the hammer that we made in the last episode. This is it here. It has 107% vanilla immortality, has axe and wood affinity, hammer size is 3, technically 4 if you include the one on it, has a lot of mine speed, shovel and picking, reach, you know, all the good stuff. This we used in the last episode a little bit just to sort of show off. I want to use it in this episode a bit more because I have a lot of stuff to gather for Crate because we're actually going to be using Crate in this episode and we're going to be using a little bit more on the base because I want to get this blimp basically finished. Now the main item we're really after for Crate is the chromatic iron. Crate eats through an absolute ton of this stuff, especially the blocks when you're making casings and stuff because it's 1 block per casing. So it can get pretty expensive. Now I only have 133. Now that is enough to last us for a little while, but this is what I need the most. Andesite is someone else you really need, but I've got over 8,000 that, so I'm not too fussed on that right now. So I really need to get into the deep slate level, and we need to go chromatic iron caving. I can't wait to get this world ender out and start smashing through deep slate to get chromatic iron. Right, I've come down to deep slate level. This is where the chromatic iron actually spawns. This is not far from spawn either. Spawns just up there, as you can see. We're just across from Vert's base. I have a feeling this is actually Vert has dug this out. So we're going to come in here and we're going to actually dig out ourselves. Now, chromatic iron can spawn at minus 30 and below, and we are currently basically at the bottom of the world. So I'm going to see what we can do. Now, with the hammer, what you can actually do is if you actually shift and use the arrow key, you can actually kind of change the height in which the hammer uses. So you can see that. Oh, so we can have whatever we want. So we don't have to keep worrying about sound. So if I actually blitz into this wall. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's silverfish. Oh, I hate silverfish. Ah, silverfish. Now, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. If you actually blitz into the wall, which I have done here, as you can see, you find yourself some chromatic iron. Yeah, that didn't take me long at all. We also get some diamonds, and I like diamonds. Anyone who knows me knows I love diamonds. I'll lay some torches down because I don't want to create hassles. Oh, that's a big vein. Oh, that's a very big vein. That, my friends, is a lot of chromatic iron. Yep, from that little area right there, we just got 374 raw chromatic iron. So that is not a bad haul for that little pocket that we found. But we have an entire area that we can excavate. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to excavate a lot of this and we're going to see how much chromatic iron we can pull. Man, this hammer is so good. We excavated, shall we say, a rather large area. Yeah, and it didn't take me that long. Oh, slime. It didn't take me that long at all to do it. I literally ripped through. Actually, it took me longer to put the torches down to actually use the hammer. Yeah, this is a fairly big area. Let's head back to the base and we can check out the haul from this little expedition. And man, did we get a lot of stuff. This is my spare backpack, so you can see we got some silver. We got almost 30k cobble deep slate. And that's just in this backpack. Let me go in the main backpack. Yeah, we have a load of cobble deep slate. We managed to get 556 zinc, which I wasn't really thinking about when I went in, but we do need that for brass. So yeah, I cannot complain with that. We managed to get 1,081. Considering we had over 300 when we recorded the first clip in that little area, I think we got really, really lucky, to be honest. And in that massive area, we'll manage to get another sort of 700. You know what it is. It's still another 1,000, which we're going to have to convert into ingots. We're going to do that in a minute. I managed to get 302 diamonds, which was handy, and a few other things here or there. But I want to take this, and I want to make it even more. So how are we going to do that? We are going to come here. This place known as Banana Kia. Yeah, this is made by Fuzzy and Code. It's like a big warehouse. They sell a lot of different items in it. It's actually, yeah, There's a lot of different M's. It's really, really cool. I think most of it was made by Code. I think Fuzzy had a hand in doing some of the crate stuff and that, but Code went ham on the building. It is awesome. But what we want to do is we want to come over here, because this is an area where they have lots of different stuff. So either washing or haunting, you get smelting, you can get crushing. There's loads of different stuff going on. And the one we want is crushing. And why do we want crushing? Well, let me show you why we want crushing. Now, I'm sure some of you already know this, but there'll probably be people who are watching it probably don't. So what to do is, if you have raw chromatic iron like we have an absolute ton of, over 1,000, if we come over to the crushing, we go into the crushing barrel, and we take a raw chromatic iron, now it's 64, let's pop the 64 in the crushing input. Now we're going to have to wait a couple of seconds, because it is going to have to go through the crusher, which as you can see, it's probably going through right this very second. Yeah, you can see it going through this very second. And if we check the crushing output, you can see it takes our 64, which we had, and doubles it to make it 2 64 stacks instead of 1. So basically, the 1,081 we had, we're going to be making ourselves over 2,100 just chromatic iron ingots. So what we want to do is we want to take the dust, and then we want to smelt it, and it'll give us ingots. So we're going to get double for our money. Yeah. Crate really is pretty OP. Now there are ways with Mechanism that you can actually quadruple it. I think you can like 5 times it, which is just insane. But we're going to go with the doubling just now because that's all we have access to. So I'm going to take what I've got left here. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to smelt it. And we are going to get ourselves a load of chromatic iron ingots. Basically what we need to create our own crate system. Now that is a much healthier amount of chromatic iron compared to what we had at the beginning of the episode. I know it's not dramatically loads, but it's definitely more than what we had. Now let's take our new chromatic iron that we got down in the depths of the mine, and let's go start our building project for today and get a little thing finished that I've been meaning to do on the Zeppelin for a little while. And today's building project on the Zeppelin is propellers. Yes, I want to add propellers to the Zeppelin. Now this is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while, but we didn't have crate up until very recently, so we've not been able to kind of do it, hence why we're going to be doing it now. Now of course we did this in our last episode. Now this looks awesome, and this is something I want to carry along, you know, bringing builds to life and stuff. I think this really does bring this to life, and I absolutely love it, and I hope you guys love it as well. But that's what we're going to be doing to the Zeppelin today. We're going to come up the back end of the Zeppelin here, and on this side and the other side we're going to create propeller on each side, and it's just going to give the feeling like, you know, the Zeppelin has propelled itself into the island. It hasn't just statically wandered in, because right now it has no propulsion system, it's just there. I want it to have something that looks like it has sort of driven itself here. Of course it is stationary because it is, you know, here at the island, but it would look really cool if we had a couple of propellers in the back. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add a propeller here, and we're going to add a propeller here. And as for the design of this thing, well, we're going to keep it very simplistic. It doesn't have to be too fancy, kind of like the ones we have similar outside on the bridge. Let's kind of see what we can come up with. And here it is. This is what I have come up with. It is very simplistic. It sticks sort of with the same design as the one over there on the bridge. You can see those ones rotating right there. It's exactly the same block palette. It just looks a little bit better because the ones over there, just the way they're lying, they look very like thick because it's lying flat. Where this one, because it's lying to the side, it's very thin and looks more like a propeller. So this is actually like, I actually think this is a lot cooler than the one over there. Even though these are really cool, this one looks a lot cooler. We've got a little bit of bridge support added as well. So this is like the arm coming out. We've covered the shafts with the andesite casings. I think it just makes it look a little bit more solid, a bit like, yeah, a bit more fixed, shall we say. And then we've got like a brace here as well, which attaches it to. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to go with. I've only got one on one side. Let me do the other side, and we can have a look from the front of the ship to see kind of what they look like. Right, the second one's in. Let's have a look at both of them from distance. Oh, yeah, I think those work. Yeah, they're really cool. I like the palette. I like the coloration. It sort of sticks with the theme we've got going on. We skip to the other side. Yes. Yeah. They are a winner. Right, let's get them spinning. Now that looks so much cooler than it just being static. Oh man, look at the spinning. That is awesome. I just popped on the other side. You can see the other side is now spinning as well. Oh, that looks so cool, guys. I am in love. This is kind of exactly what I envisioned when I envisioned building the Zeppelin, was having cool things like this. If I actually just pop up to the propeller, you can actually see I've actually changed something here as well. We had that sort of metal kind of brace bracket in. I changed it for the girders. I completely forgot we had these. These are part of Crate Mod. I used them a ton last season. Completely forgot they existed. I kind of do prefer these, but I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you prefer. Do you prefer this new girder system, or do you prefer the old bracket that I used as well? But this is not the only thing that changed. Something also changed inside. And we now have ourselves a working engine. Yeah, I'm not talking about like the water wheel. That was kind of obvious. It's a small water wheel we've got in there just with the water and soul sand. You know the game by now. But I thought we'd go for something a little bit different. I went with the fluid tanks. just as a bit of a decoration, because technically this is the engine for the entire Zeppelin. I'm not sold on it. I want to know what you guys think. I think it looks quite cool, but I think maybe I need to just decorate a little bit more. I think there's something not quite right. It's very flat, it's missing something, and you know me, I don't like flat and missing. I like complete and actiony. You know, it needs to be looking cool, it needs to be fleshed out. I think there could be more done to this. I'm going to have a look, you know, between episodes to see if I can maybe flesh this out a bit more, but I think it does look quite cool. It does the job. I had a metal girder here as well to add a bit of support for it, and it is looking very, very smart, but I think, as I say, it could do with a bit of an upgrade. Let me know what you think. Now, those two propellers in the background look absolutely epic. I am in love with just propellers, apparently. I do really like the crate mod. I'm glad we got it again. But that's not all I want to do in this episode. I do want to run a vault, but before I do run a vault, I want to kind of go through you guys something you may have noticed in the past couple episodes that I've been running, but I haven't really said anything about. And that is my character build in the vault for this season. Because I have a really cool one I'm kind of developing and working on. We have 4 unspent skill points, and I want to spend those today as well, because I want to go through my build for this season. Now, for those of you who maybe haven't noticed, what kind of build am I running this season? Well, the build I'm running this season has to do with ice, or what I like to call the ICEMAN COMETH build. Yep, that's what we're calling it. We're calling it the ICEMAN COMETH build because I'm going to be focusing primarily on ice/freezing related stuff. Now, what abilities and talents are we taking for the ICEMAN COMETH build? Well, the main one we're primarily taking is Frost Nova. This is the one we're going to use the most. This is what's going to proc a lot of the things that we're going to be using. And the reason is when we actually activate this ability, you can see it has a radius of 6.5 blocks, has a duration of 5 seconds. It does only cost 30 mana, and the cooldown is 20 seconds. So you can proc it quite quickly, especially if you've got cooldown reduction on your abilities as well. And basically what this does is when you proc it or you activate it, it actually causes hypothermia, which actually causes the enemies to become permanently slowed, but they also take ice damage every 3 seconds. Now this is great because it actually links into our talents tree, because if we click on this one, which is known as Frostbite, when hitting a chilled mob, has a chance of causing them to get frostbitten. So because they're hypothermic, it means they're chilled, and when they get frostbitten for 3 seconds, and basically if they get hit again, they will instantly die. So basically what this does is when they get frostbitten, they'll turn it like an ice cube, and if I hit them again, they will instantly shatter. Now this works for pretty much any enemy. I'm talking like big enemies, small enemies, any enemy. If this procs, they get frozen. If I hit them again, they instantly die, regardless of health. This thing is insane. Now, there are a couple other things I want to be adding into this to make it better, hence why we're here. One I can use, or one I want to sort of proc into, is this right here, Blizzard Arrow, because I feel like this is going to be something that we're going to want to do, because also, look, Frostbite chance, Frostbite duration, you know, it has it all in there. So if we actually spec the 4 points that we have into Storm Arrow, but then take the Blizzard Arrows, let's do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then take the Blizzard Arrow specialization. Now, this has a radius of 6. It has a duration of 24 seconds. It's going to be firing like a blizzard-like cloud and raining down on top of them. Of course, we combine that with the Frost Nova as well, which we can proc every 20 seconds. They're going to hypothermic, and then we combine that with the Frostbite. Then they're all going to basically turn to icicles, and then we 2-hit them, regardless of health. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely insane. Of course, with this now upgraded, the Frostbite chance up to 17%. The duration is 1.5 seconds, which gives us enough time. Yes, it costs 46 mana, and the cooldown is 100 seconds, but that is absolutely fine, because all we need to do is get Frostbite to proc. Once this, this has a 20% chance, so that has another 17, so it now has a 37% chance that we're going to actually proc Frostbite. That's more than, a quarter of the time. Almost, it's actually over a third of the time we are going to be proccing this. And if we're hitting some big enemies, or we're getting caught in a big group, and this procs a lot, there's going to be a lot of enemies getting frozen. Now, I know there's a glaring and obvious thing wrong with this build, and it is that we're going to require a ton of mana. Don't worry, I have you covered on that, because I've actually kind of planned ahead. This is the build I've been kind of building towards and what I've been wanting to do. Now, cooldown reduction is 21% on the current gear that I have, which is great, because 20% faster cooldown reduction means we can proc things quicker. But again, the mana is always going to be the issue. But as I say, I have planned ahead for that. If we scroll down, you can see my mana is 121, but my mana regen is 303%. my mana regen shoots up like nothing. It is so quick. So basically, I don't really ever have to worry about my mana running out, as long as we're not proccing it loads and loads and loads. I mean, we're only going to proc the Storm Cloud like once because it's a 100-second cooldown, but the Frost Nova we can proc by the time it's regened, and then we proc again, it's regened, we proc again. I can basically infinitely proc it. And of course, it does tie in with our Javelin. We can actually use the Javelin as well to actually, so if we have like an Isocube form, but they're far away from us, we can fire the Javelin and it will shatter the enemy in ice as well. So this build is kind of where I want it to be. It could be tweaked a little bit more and things added, but I'd like to take it for a test run. So let's run a vault and see what it's like with the Storm Cloud added in as well. And one thing I did forget to mention, I actually have the Phylactery, which increases your mana regen by 50% of your total mana regeneration. So that 303% I just told you, if we add this, it goes up to 454% mana regen. It's not the best I can have. My armor could have better mana regen rolls. They're not the greatest, but you know what? For now, it is definitely going to do. Anyway, let's run this vault. Right, so it looks like we have a Brazier vault, which is, I'm not too fussed about. We'll maybe try and do the Braziers because they're not too hard to do, but I'm not here to do the vault. What I'm here to do is test. Test, and test, because I really want to see how well this build does. Right, here we go. Here's our first POI. Let's see. Right, that looks like a decent amount of mobs. Perfect, actually. That's exactly what I want. Now, let's kind of group them up. We'll fire off the Frost Nova, and then what we'll do is we'll fire off the Storm Arrow to see if we can... I mean, you want them all kind of together, so that's maybe a bit of a pain. Let me kind of run past these guys. There we go. Right, I'll get here. Let's go. And then fires. Oh, there we go. I'm getting hit quite badly, but that's fine. And then fire Storm Arrow. Is that good? Does that work? Maybe. I can't see because I fell. I can hear a lot. Yes, it does. Look. If I hit, instant kill. Hit, instant kill. Instant kill. Instant kill. Instant kill. Instant kill. Oh, as long as you don't fall down and make a right hash of it, this build is pretty good. Right, I hear a load of mobs, so let's try this again. So these are the big guys. Now I wonder if I can maybe proc the ice to happen. Oh, these guys do some damage. Oh, there's a tier. Whatever, Skeletron. Right, there we go. Oh, instant. That was cool. That was a what? Tier 3, Tier 4 archer, and I literally one-shot him. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is so cool. And that's not even the Storm Cloud. That is literally just the Freezing Nova. Get out of here. Get out of here. Right, here's another really good opportunity here. Let's try this one. So there's two... Oh, big guys. So they throw scarabs as well. Yes, it works on the scarabs. Right, let's get rid of this because this guy is going to be a lot of trouble. Let's throw a javelin. Right, javelin should be thrown. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yes. Those guys are so annoying and I can instantly kill them. Yeah, look at the spikes falling in. That's amazing. Now, watch my mana regen. Oh, no, actually. My mana regen's already kicked in. My mana is already full. That is crazy. I don't have the Storm Cloud here, so let's just see how it goes with... Yeah. The Frozen Nova is awesome when it's upgraded. So then just smash... Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as maybe the Toxic Reaction. I'd say obviously a lot of people use Toxic Reaction because it just keeps on chaining. It's maybe not as good as that, but you know what? It is performing very well. Definitely good, but I'd say you definitely need the Storm Arrow for it to work really efficiently. Frost Nova is great like that, for instance, and it's great because it affects them all within the area and they all constantly take damage, but when you've got that arrow going, man, do they take damage, and man, do those ice cubes mount up. The ice cubes mount up a lot quickly, and you kill guys so quickly. Here's another big group. Let's group them up. Fire the Frost Nova, fire the arrow, and then just watch as it rains on top. Freeze, instant death. Freeze, instant death. Freeze, instant death. Instant death. You can die. Where are you getting? Oh, look. Dead. Wait, who's next? Go on. Someone else freeze. Oh, look. Dead. This is amazing. This is awesome. This is exactly how I hoped it was going to go. Oh, I'm loving this build. Toxic Reaction's cool. This is definitely cooler. Here we go. Prime example again. And fire the Storm Arrow. And let it rain. Let it rain. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Get out of here. Okay, we just got cursed and we got the ethereal curse. I am going to be heading out because that means some mobs are going to start spawning that are immune to damage. And I don't particularly want that, especially when we're trying to group mobs up and kill them. Yeah, that ain't going to be fun. Ooh, a dragon room. Now, I usually do like these rooms, but when ethereal's on, I'm going to opt out on this one, I'm afraid. Right, I've got 10 of 11 braziers. Let's get one more and then we are just going to leave because I feel like, yeah, more champions soul boost. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to die if I start spawning in mobs now. Because especially with ethereal on, look at the bottom corner to the right hand side there. Yeah, there's a lot of different things. Ooh, pillage for loot though. No, leave, Zinjy. Leave. Right, as I said, I suppose just a tester vault to see how it would go. We managed to put the brazier, let's get out of here. All in all, I think that was a pretty successful test. The Storm Arrow works so well with Frost Nova. You've seen when we were proccing Frost Nova, freezing them in place, and then firing a Storm Arrow at their feet. It was basically just raining down hail. It was keeping them in place. It was turning them to ice because we had a 37% chance at frostbite, technically, when you combine both together. And you saw how many cubes we're getting from them, how many were getting frozen. Yeah, they don't get frozen for long, so you have to be quite quick in hitting them and then shattering them. But when you hit them, instant death, regardless of what the enemy is. I think this build, a little bit tweaked, a little bit refined, and a little bit more skill points plunged into it, is going to be absolutely epic. But that is going to have to wait for a future episode because I have kind of run out of time for today. But we did get a lot done today, which has been really helpful. Getting the propellers on the side of the Zeppelin and getting that finished. Basically, the outside of the Zeppelin is now finished, which is great because it's something that's been bothering me for a while. Of course, we got the bridge done last episode, propellers this episode, so we're complete. The inside does need a little bit of tweaking, as you can see. It's not the best in here. It was quickly sort of set up. It was how I wanted it, but there's still things I need to add. But don't worry, we will get to that. And of course, I cannot not mention the fact we are working on our build for the season, our ICEMAN COMETH build, which is pretty good so far. Again, needs refining, needs tweaking. I need a few more points to plunge into Storm Arrow and also into the Frost Nova to get those up a little bit. But once we have that and we have the gear that we want and have a lot more mana regen and stuff, it is going to be absolutely amazing. But as I say, that is probably going to do it for me today, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys!